What is up, guys? It is Sam, the Raid Man. Today I want to talk about how to beat hard faction wars, at least the wave part of it. And it might seem obvious to some, but it is clearly apparent that the best champion in every faction is the best crowd controller that you have in every faction. So for example, just did some, I have beat stage 1 through 6 of the Shadowkin faction. I think 6 is the furthest I've gotten any faction. And for sure, the best champions that you want for this is Ninja, who's got an AoE freeze on a 4-turn cooldown. You want turn meter control. Shuzen is good at that. Yumiko can do that. What is it? Lady Kimmy is very good at doing that. So I want to talk briefly about some of the best crowd control champions in each faction. So we'll kind of just start at the top, go through Bannerlords, and just talk a little bit about best crowd control. So Killian has an ability, attacks all enemies, place block active skills. This is kind of like a provoke, but they can hit anyone with their A1s, but that is a good ability. Stultus is probably my recommendation for the #1 best. I know he's a legendary, but AoE stun on a 3-turn cooldown is big. Double hit, double chance at it. Taroth has a big fear on his ability. That's the main ones that I'm seeing. Archmage helmet or Archmage helmet in the epic is another amazing option. He's got a AoE stun, basically stuns everyone except for 1 turn if he crits. So you have to manual this, but 3-turn cooldown stun. He's also a good buffer. Very, very good budget option. Oathbound has an honorable mention. He's got some decreased turn meter here and then a block active skills on a 4 hitter at random. So not amazing, but he is good there. Real quick, guys, get your free legendary Elanaro by clicking the link in the description of this video right now. You also get 3 amazing epics in Fane, Ugo, and Tagore as you level up throughout the game. I have 4 simple steps for you today. Step 1, log out of Play and Play on your PC and uninstall it. Step 2, click on the link in the description of this video and register with a brand new email address. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your free legendary Elanaro. Do not miss out on this chance to get a free legendary Elanaro as well as 3 epics, so make sure to click on this link before it expires. In the High Elves, anyone with freeze is going to be amazing. So we've got a AoE freeze on Pixneal. She's back in. Shirmani, one of the best freezers in the game. Lysandra is great for turn meter. Is it Rowanus that has the stun? Yeah, AoE stun on Basilius Rowanus. That's a huge ability there. He is going to be probably the #1 turn meter or crowd controller. Tyrell's got a little bit of it with his A3, decreases turn meter, can place a stun. Jingle Hunter can freeze, but you have to AoE kill, you have to kill somebody and then freeze the rest of them, so he's not great at that. Neldor can freeze on his triple hitter random on his A1, so that's not amazing, but he can do it. Skiramis has got an AoE provoke, so he's a very good option for that. And yeah, that's really it for it. I mean, you can put someone in a sunset. I'm not really going to talk about that. Like Elhain's a good candidate for a sunset because she's got 2 AoEs. So that's a good candidate for a sunset, but we're not really going to talk about that today. Let's see, who else? Alice has everyone should have Alice, or most everyone should have Alice. She can increase skill cooldowns by 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. She also does good damage, so she's good at that. Glacea can place a freeze on everybody. It's only booked to an 80% chance, but she can do it. Wixwell's got provoke on his A1. Martyr has an AoE provoke here. Bivald is a great provoker. He's got a perfect provoke here, a 3-turn cooldown and a provoke on his A1. So he is awesome at that. Sir Nick can freeze on his A1. That's not amazing, not terrible. Supreme Aethel can freeze right here. AoE, that's a good one. And then Lady Noelle can freeze on her revival ability. So those freeze champions are good. Deacon is great for turn meter control. Frostbringer does not bring the frost, unfortunately. There's not a ton of great options. Like Shemael, oh no, not Shemael. Mordecai's got a little bit of turn meter control here, but not really crowd control. And then same thing here. Nobody that's worth mentioning in my mind. Alaz is amazing. Syl is going to be one of the best stunners. Stun is for sure the best crowd control debuff you can have in Faction Wars. Syl does that very well. Armand's is the crowd control because he's turn meter decrease and stun. If you have Armand's, no wave should ever be an issue for you. Skarg can do some fearing on his ability, but not super consistently. Nergigante Archer can do a big stun. Yakarl is a great option. He's got a freeze here and a freeze here and a freeze here. So he's one of the best freezers in the game. Odin, AoE buff strip and AoE stun. So he's going to be an awesome option for that. Inside the epics, Hoskarl has a stun ability. 50% chance books to 75% chance of all enemies. And that's probably all I would call out for Barbarians. All right, moving on to Ogryn Tribes. Let's see. Here we go. Biggin, A2, AoE, 30% chance of placing stun, books to 50. So not great, but it is there. I don't know everybody's abilities. Modo has an AoE stun. That one's awesome. Can hit it very hard. Blizzar has an AoE freeze. He's my recommendation. Gurgo has an AoE freeze. He's also amazing. Grisor has a AoE provoke. So he's a good option for that. Shatterbone's not really crowd control, but great turn meter decrease. He's very, very slept on. Prundar does an AoE provoke. Yeah. on a, what's that, books a 75% chance. So that's pretty good. And then Bellower is going to be the best rare because he's got block active skills on his A1 and you can put him in a stun set. He's like the best candidate for a stun set. Lizardmen, we're not really counting mythicals, obviously. Basatha has a stun, 75% chance, books to 100% chance, and decreases turn meter, so that's big. Fushan has an AoE stun, very similar to Sills. Double hitter, each hit 35% chance. Negmo is a good candidate for a stun target, and he's got turn meter fill and decrease, so that's good. Krisk has an AoE provoke, so he is a good option for that. Jagor's got some funky sleep mechanics, and then he can do poisons and stuff, so he's kind of crowd control. And then Basilisk has a single target stun, but an AoE on the A1, so you can put him in a stun set, and those are the only ones that are calling my attention right now. Okay, moving on, trying to keep this as short as possible to the Skinwalkers. Brachus has a fear, Warchief has a provoke, but all single target provokes. Let's see, Ragash, AoE, decreased defense and stun on a 3-turn cooldown. He's going to be my #1 choice for this faction. Tumesia is stun and HP burn. She's very good. Leorius can do fear. Marius can actually do a stun on this ability, but it's only on the enemy with the highest ability or target. But crowd control, and Fee was kind of a crowd control debuff. It's basically like a better version of a provoke, essentially, although I wouldn't really consider it crowd control. Basher has an awesome ability. He's very underrated. He can put all enemy skills on cooldown by 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, so just keeping everyone A1ing. Orcs, we're moving through here. This is kind of the purpose of this video, was I was fighting the Orcs and I was like, I don't have any crowd control options. I have a lot of champions. I have Iron Brago, who can do a provoke, 75% chance, and then decrease attack as well. He can do a 2-turn stun here, which is pretty cool if they're under 2 buffs, but really it's just a 1-turn stun. Warlord is really good control because he can lower everyone's skill cooldowns a ton, and he can also deplete turn meter. That's really all that I saw. Angar is an awesome provoker, so he's not very good in many other areas, but he would be very good here. Aragaz, the Unity champion, would be awesome. I don't know much about Zarguna. I don't see any crowd control there. Robar is probably the one that I'm gonna build him, but he's not, like, he places his stun as A1, but he can give an extra turn, so like he could be the best crowd controller. Yeah, let me know what you guys think for this faction. I was struggling a lot. Seer can sleep, so maybe if you built like a second Seer with accuracy, but I don't have many good crowd controllers in the Orc faction, so I think this is gonna be one of the toughest ones. Ashnar can do some turn meter steal, but just on a single target, so not sure who I'm supposed to be using for Orcs. Demonspawn, there's a lot of options. Chimer's got a sleep. Countess Lix has a decrease, no, that's your skills. She's got decreased speed and turn meter, that's what it is. Vassal's got a fear. Yeah, 100% true fear. That's a awesome ability on a 3-turn cooldown. Let's see, who else do we have? I don't know what Chauko does. Block passive skills. So not really what you're looking for. Allure is great turn meter control, and she's also got a sleep on her A2. Again, not a ton of people that are calling to me. Achak has a chance at a freeze, but it's a weird conditional freeze / HP burn, so that's a little strange. Umbral's got a good AoE provoke. She's good for 1 wave. Potentially you could get her to do the 1st and the 3rd wave, but she cannot be a crowd controller for every wave. Skimpo's got some good turn meter steal. Again, Fellhound, good target for a stun set. Same thing with Abyssal, AoE A1, but I'm not seeing too many great options besides Chimar, Vassal, and then any of the mythicals. Okay, Undead Hordes, Crypt King Grawl, great option. AoE freeze, AoE HP burn, and that's just good damage too to get you through the waves. Morrigan, good turn meter control. UDK has a provoke on his A1 and then a chance of fear, but the fear is on legendary, so depends on how many legendaries you're fighting in the wave. Mashald, AoE fear is pretty good, true fear. And then, you know, AoE on the A1, so you can put him in a stun set as well. Harvest Jack, fear, a lot of fear in the Undead Hordes. Fabian's probably the best option. I need to build mine out. Stealing turn meter, petrification, true fear, and then enemy skill cooldown increase. Siphi sleep on the A1. Euros can provoke when they're attacking your allies. So he attacks your ally, he protects your allies and then provokes people who attack them. Husk has an AoE stun, and he's good damage. I think that's good. Seeker, provoke on the A1. Vogoth has an AoE provoke, and he's like a tank that heals your team, so he's definitely a good option as well. Okay, moving on to the Dark Elves. Ray, one of the best options, AoE freeze. It is on a 6-turn cooldown though, so you might be able to use that twice, but probably just once. Marinix has got multiple AoE, so she would be good for a stun set. Chromax is just an awful champion, but he does have an AoE provoke. Don't want to talk about it. Queen Ava can do... No. Is it skill cooldowns? No, resets her own cooldown. Let's see. Visix, great option. AoE, decrease speed, and then AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. She's going to be super good at that. Fatalis, I think he just does damage, right? He doesn't do... Some of these champions I'm less familiar with, so I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Crimson Helm's got a provoke, but it's a weird one. It's a 4-hitter at random. Sylar has got good control, decreased speed and decreased turn meter. And then she's all AoE, so you can put her in a stun set. So that's an option. Coldheart, obviously a little bit of turn meter. She's more for bosses than waves. Moving on to the Knight Revenant faction. Again, skipping over the mythicals. Eric's AoE on the A1. He's also got a AoE stun, 50% chance of placing a stun. So he's going to be one of the best options here. Gaius bombs and places asleep, 100% chance on a 3-turn cooldown, and he does bring good damage. Bistophis does block active skills. Let's critical hit again. There it is, block active skills on this ability. Versolf places provoke on the A1 and then hits harder on enemies that are controlled. And then when he's hit, he has a chance of placing provoke. So he's a little interesting, but he can do some. Hatter is not doing control, but he's good damage. Same thing with Theodore, Cavalax, Drang, all good damage. Solus, provoke on this one, stun on the A1. So he's one of the best options. Hegemon, kind of, block active skills on the A2, and he can do a stun set as well. Fortis is one of the best fear champions, although not very good. I would say the easy #1 best crowd control champion is Carolon the Ringer. I love this champion, as you guys know. AoE freeze on a 3-turn cooldown. If someone resisted or is blocked, just fills turn meter of everybody in your team. And he fully depletes the turn meter. So not like very similar to Armon's, but a little bit different, because he doesn't steal that turn meter to himself, but he makes sure that you lose it. So you'll freeze everyone and take away all their turn meter. Then you can just go back. He's even got AoEs on the A1 and the A2, so you can put him in a stun set as well. But Carolon will make waves a breeze. He's gonna be super good at that. Queen of Hearts has a True Fear and a Death Brand, and then I think she's got an AoE on the A1, so you can put her in a stun set. And then Narcisse, I think, is just damage, right? Yeah. Okay. In the Epic faction, one of the best Epic stunners in the game is Miscreated Monster, 3-turn cooldown, 50% chance of a stun. Also a stun on the A1, so he's very good at that. Burgoth has an AoE provoke, although it's a very low chance. It books to a 55% chance, but he does some healing, so he's okay. Skullcrown, double AoEs, always a good target for a stun set. Tylesia, multiple AoEs. But yeah, I'm not seeing too many options for control champions. Okay, last 3 factions. Dwarves. Trunda, a lot of people are building her with accuracy, because you can place a stun, 70% chance, and then HP burn as well. So really good damage there. And then she's also got a stun on her A1. So she's actually very good at control if you view her that way. Hearn did good damage, multiple AoEs, but he can also decrease turn meter on his A2, A3. So he's also good at that. Goffred has AoE stun on a 3-turn cooldown. He's probably the best here. Molly, AoE provoke, can be 2-turn. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, and she gives you extra turn meter when she's hit. Newt, freeze on the A1. Stunning here, but I think he's mostly single target stunning. Torment is amazing because he's got freeze on his passive, freeze on his A1, and provoke on his A3. So Torment's going to be amazing for the crowd control. Geomancer, AoE on the A1 plus some turn meter steal could do something. Fodbor has a stun, but it's a 3-turn cooldown, 1-turn stun on one champion, so not the best. But there's not many like budget options in this faction. Cornelia actually is the perfect budget option because she's got AoE freeze, and she can freeze, or no, AoE sleep, sorry, excuse me. AoE sleep, and then she can also sleep your allies. She's also got a speed in all allies aura, and then a increased skill cooldown on the A1. So Cornelia is definitely the best budget option there. Shadowkin, already talked about. Lady Kimmy's good turn meter. Ninja's got the AoE freeze, which is just huge. True Fear on the faction unity champion. Gamaran's weird, but he's not really, he does some True Fear stuff. Karato has an AoE block active skills, and then he's also got a stun for 2 turns. So this is super good. He's even better when you pair him with Yumiko. Also Karato, awesome champion you can get from my link code. Jingwan, AoE block active skills as well, and then a stun on the A1. Taragi has a AoE provoke, 50% chance of a provoke, so that's not too bad. Burengiri, AoE stun, books to 60% chance, which is not too bad for an epic. Gory's got some freeze, a lot of single target stuff, so I don't know how much I would recommend him. And yeah, looks like that's it. Last faction, Sylvan Watchers, definitely the faction I know the least about. So let's see who we have for debuffs. Glycad has a freeze on the A1, so that's not great. Ilil does, I thought he did some kind of block active skills. Maybe he does not. So yeah, I'm not familiar with every single one of these champions. I apologize for not doing a little more research on all of them, but there's so many new champions in the game. I'm not sure off the top of my head who does good crowd control here. Let's see. Dythe does a lot of AoEs, or can get a lot of AoEs with his extra turn, so you could use him there. Cryodin, there he is. I was like, there's a freeze champion here that I'm missing. AoE freeze on a 3-turn cooldown. It's awesome ability. Freeze on the A1, increase speed, strengthen on the passive, and then the more he places freeze, the more he gives his turn meter. He is the best crowd controller in the faction, bar none. And he will make everything a lot easier. Don't think anyone else up here is doing massive crowd control. Sleep on the A1. Incenses the poison cloud, decrease defense and weaken. Like, these are great champions, but they're not doing crowd control. So yeah, I would say Creodin is the main option here. Past that, I think this is a lacking faction for crowd control. Let me know if there's somebody I missed. Maybe Caldor is doing something. I think he's mostly heals and stuff. Okay. So that being said, I know hard faction wars is very difficult. We're all getting into it together, or some of us are getting into it together if we're in the end game. And it's cool. I like having a new challenge. I like stretching my roster. So for example, like in the Orc faction, I need to build, I won't even let me look at it, but I need to build my Robar. I was like looking at crowd control champions and I just don't have many of them. So I was like, who can do fear or true fear? I have Danag. Who can do stun, wherever that is. Don't know why I can't see it. There we go. Kreela a little bit. King Garog a little bit. Tuhawk's not bad, I guess. But his stun is just on a 1 turn or 1 person. So yeah, I was just kind of looking at this. That's what spawned this video. But it is a very difficult area of the game, but I think it's fun and challenging and cool, and we get to earn another mythical eventually, which is always awesome. And we're working on getting some relics, which I am in desperate need of relics, so I'm always trying to get more materials for them. So let me know what you guys think of hard faction wars, and is there any good crowd control champions that I didn't call out today? So anyways, thanks for watching, subscribe to the video, and I'll see you on the next one.